The reason your defense sucks and you keep giving up easy touchdowns at CFB 26 is because you're not in an actual defensive scheme that's capable of locking down every offense in the game. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down the complete guide to my 4-3 multiple defense with all the best glitch blitzes and coverages that are going to have you locking down every single drive. I just showed them to this player right here, and his points allowed per game dropped by over a touchdown. So if you want the same thing to happen to your defense, be sure to stick around all the way to the end and don't skip out on any of the plays or tips I'm breaking down today. Let's jump right into it. Alright, first I want to break down the best defensive settings to use here with this 4-3 multiple playbook, because if you don't get these right, nothing else I break down in this video is going to matter. Let me show you. Alright, so this is a question I get all the time, especially on my one-on-one coaching sessions at my website, right? BLT, what are the best zone drop settings? Alright, and so really the best zone drop settings, they so much depend on the situation on defense, right? You could, use 5-yard curl flats, right? For example, this is normally what I start the game in. Default flats, 5-yard curl flats, default hooks. The reason why is because I want to actually be able to stop the flat. You notice how they put this receiver on a flat route, they throw it, it's going to be an easy interception simply because you have a 5-yard curl flat on the field who's going to be in a perfect position to be able to knock that pass away or intercept it like this. You just see how, again, you have a purple zone in the field, a curl flat, you have him set to 5 yards, he comes down 5 yards, breaks in this pass, steps in front of it, intercepts it. So that's really the first great use case, is when you're playing against a lot of mesh concepts, right? Because you actually want to be able to stop these underneath passes and not just allow them to have easy completions underneath and just dink and dunk you all game. So that's really the first responsibility of zone coverage, is to be able to stop underneath passes, right? And so the problem that could get created though is the next level of offense would be to start hitting you with like flood concepts, right? Because really what they can do is understand that you have 5-yard curl flats on the field and then start hitting you with like corner routes. So now they're just going to throw to Ryan Williams right there on the sideline if the 13th pick in the draft wanted to hit a wide open throw. But it's like, well, now they're just going to have that pass open right there simply because you have a 5-yard curl flat and they can just, hit that right there, right over him because your guy's at 5 yards. So that's really where it's like, now you need to adjust. You can't just sit in, 5-yard curl flats. But again, even if you were to move your curl flats back, for example, they're hitting you with a flood concept. Moving back to 15, now the 5-yard flat's going to be open. So now what you need to do is put your flats on 20 or 25 yards, right? Just like this. I'd recommend 25 here in this game, but we're going to call Tampa 2. And so now when they call you that same flood concept, what you're going to notice right here is, boom, we're going to have our guy dropping back to defend the corner out. Very easy, and we're going to knock that pass away. But also what you need to do, because Tampa 2 doesn't have curl flats by default, so like you're still going to give up the flat with a flood concept. So you need to make the adjustment to press Y twice or triangle twice, then press A or X, and then put your slot corner in a curl flat like this. So now you have a 25-yard cloud flat, a 5-yard curl flat from cover 2. And so what you're going to notice now is when we take the snap, we're going to have a guy sitting underneath right here to break up that underneath pass, and we're still going to have that same guy deep over the top to be able to defend that corner out right there on the sideline. Boom, corner out, lockdown, taken away. Same thing underneath where it's, again, boom, we're able to just sit right here and take that away. So again, that's the second great use case for zone drops, is being able to use the double maple coverage where you're stopping the deeper pass and the shorter pass really at the same time. But also what you need to make sure that you're doing is, if you're going to be running match coverage, and this is really the third use case that I use for zone drops every single game, is when you're calling a play that has this purple match indicator on it, which indicates that you're going to be in match coverage. You need to make sure that you have all 3 zone drop depths on default, or the coverage won't play correctly, because it is going to be very valuable. For example, we'll call cover 4 palms right here. We're going to have them call a flood concept. We're going to take this snap. We're going to be able to easily latch onto all their different routes right there, take away that corner out, intercept it. We're taking away their fade over the top. It's almost like we're running these routes for these guys. And not to mention, we're also going to do a great job of just poaching this backside dig route and taking that away. And so it's like your coverage is essentially going to be playing for you. Again, flat taken away easily. our inside quarter converts from zone coverage to man on this corner route because of the route concept that they call, and now we're going to be able to lock it down just like that for an easy interception. So zone drops so heavily depend on the situation that you're in on defense. To stop the underneath, you just want to put your curl flats on 5 and call cover 3. To defend flood concepts, you either want to run match coverage like this with all 3 zone drop depths on default, or run a cover 2 defense with your flats on 25, curl flats on 5, and make sure you put your slot corner in that curl flat, and then you're going to be locking down. So zone drops depend on the situation, change all throughout the game, but those are 3 of the best use cases for them. All right, the next thing that's super important here from this 4-3 multiple defensive playbook, it's actually having a great glitch blitz, because if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, you're going to be toast. Let me show you a great glitch blitz here from this 4-3 multiple playbook. All right, so that's going to be Mike Blitz 0 here from Nickel 3-3 Cub, all right? Because this is one of the easiest defenses to run in the game because you have so much versatility. I'm obviously going to be talking about a blitz here, but it's like you also have great run defense as well from this formation, as you know we're going to talk about, or as I've talked about in other videos. But it's like it's super easy to stop the run. Okay, but with the blitz, all you're going to do is shift the D-line left, drop this outside linebacker right here into a curl flat, and you're going to stand right here with your user about 2 yards over the left shoulder of the center, so that when they take the snap, as soon as you see them snap the ball, you're pressing D-pad right to D-pad switch stick onto your curl flat. Now, what you can also do is if you want to run zone coverage, this is what I'm talking about with the versatility of this, where you could really just run a cover 3 cloud if you wanted to, so something like this, right? Or you could put this slot corner at vertical. Like you could run a defense just like this if you wanted to behind the blitz, so that you're not caught in man coverage. But that's going to totally be up to you. Boom, but we're going to have them take the snap, and you're just able to see how we're able to get that free rusher, sack fumble, we recover, easy turnover, right? And so that's really what it is, because you're creating a 4-on-3 overload advantage on the left side of the offensive line to allow for your guys to come in clean. So again, boom, take the snap, and you're going to see how this is where positioning is so important with your user, because when you stand in this spot and then press your D-pad to the right, your user runs into the center, and then you have a 3-on-2 advantage over here on the left side of the line to be able to go get the quarterback on the ground, and then we fall on the ball just like that. So I mean, that's really what this comes down to. It's super, super easy to run. Again, you could run man covers. Now, if you're going to run man with this blitz, I would recommend that you actually route commit. So you press Y, A, and then you click onto the receiver. I'll use Ryan Williams here, for example, so A, and then I'm going to route commit inside, because you don't want to leave your corners on an island with no route commit, because it'll be easy for them to get cooked. So once I route commit now, I'm telling my corner, hey, I think he's running an in-breaking route. I need you to sit on it. And overall, most of the time, he's going to do a much better job of actually playing man coverage against in-breaking routes, because I'm telling him that's where he needs to be. But we're going to go through it again right here. Again, as soon as they snap the ball, you press your D-pad to the right, and you notice how, again, we're going to have that free rusher. We're able to lurk underneath, and we're going to be able to do a great job in coverage. You know, just as you're able to see right here, we get this guy to come in free off the edge, and then we go sack the quarterback. But also, if they block their running back, which might be a counter for them, it's really not going to matter, because the running back can get ran through at the point of attack. So we're going to still drop this man into a curl flat. We're still going to put this, you know, defender in a hook curl just like this. Press RB, right stick up to pass commit. And so now, boom, we're going to take the snap, press D-pad up to get over the middle. And now the pocket gets collapsed immediately, because the running back is going to have a really tough time to step up and block that guy. So really, you're able to see how easy this defense is. Block running back, unblock running back. He's going to have a tough time in pass protection, because again, this man's dropping out, which means he goes to double team. And unless, like, I would say this blitz is hard to block with pass protection anyway, but you're even able to see with the running back in protection, a 6 against a 5, right? It's just going to be an easy sack for you. So the best glitch blitz here in this 4-3 multiple playbook is from Mike Blitz 0 here, because it's super easy to set up. Shift your D-line left, pass commit, drop your guy into a zone, and then make sure you're standing in the right spot with your user so that you get the attention of the center and create the 4-on-3 advantage. All right, so if you found those those first two tips in place helpful here from the 4-3 multiple playbook in CFB 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down college football 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day to help you guys get better. I'm the only one doing it right now, so I'm really the best channel to take advice and gain information from. Subscribing is literally free, so go down below, do it today. But if you want my full 4-3 multiple defensive ebook, which goes through the full videos, screenshots, write-ups, and I guarantee to transform your defense and have you locking down here in CFB 26, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. Again, you can save everything on your phone. Videos and screenshots are attached to help you out. I highly recommend you check it out. But let's jump right back into the video. Because next I want to break down a great way that you're actually going to be able to slow down and stop these trip formations, specifically trips tied in with a lockdown coverage. Let me show you. Alright, so we're going to come into dime 2-3 odd right here, and our play is, or actually it could be any play here, but I like DB Fire 2, alright? And so what you're going to notice about this play and against trips formations is it's going to be very easy for them to attack you up the seam, especially if, you blitz this slot corner or you have him in some sort of like assignment that's not like defending the seam, where they're just going to walk the line, hike the ball, chuck a seam, and you're in cover 2 or in cover 3, so some sort of zone coverage, that seam is going to typically be wide open. And again, even if like you were to user that seam, well, now they just hit you like right here, right? Especially if they're calling one of the best plays verticals here in this formation. So it's like, you really need a way to quickly be able to lock down a lot of these passes, especially these quick seam passes. Now, there's other route concepts that they can use here, from trips, so it's not like this is like the only one that they can call, but what you're going to do is you're going to start cross-manning them, because not enough trips players have seen this before and don't necessarily know how to beat it, and you're going to get really quick pressure on them. So what I would recommend you do, press your defense, take this top safety right here, and you're going to cross-man him onto this slot receiver or the inside trips receiver. Now, just warning you, this is going to take some fast button presses, some adjustments, but it really is worth it once you can start to, run it. So we're going to take this top safety, man him up onto this guy. We're going to take our linebacker and man him up onto this slot receiver right here, the middle trips receiver. You also want to make sure you move him over, so you don't want him to be like right here. You want him to like move him over out here, right? Just because he's going to better be able to defend them actually, as he runs down the field. And then you're going to take this top safety and man him up on the left side onto this outside trips receiver. So now it's going to look something like this, but don't forget about the tight end, because if the tight end goes on a shriek right here, there's no deep half. So what you need to do is press, Y twice again, click onto your slot corner, and then put him in man coverage on this tight end. So now it's going to look something like this. I would also personally recommend that you drop this guy into an outside third, and then you can put this outside corner in a cloud flat like this, because now you have pretty safe defense, right? You have an outside third to defend like a corner, double team it, and everyone's in man coverage, and then you also have a cloud flat to be able to defend like a tight end corner, along with it obviously being, manned up already. Now, you can also use the route commit feature that I told you earlier from Mike Blitz 0 to make this even better, but you might not have time to do that just because you already have a lot of adjustments to make. So if I go through it at full speed here, I'm going to reset my play. Now it looks like this. Boom, man him up, boom, boom. Ooh, I haven't done this in a while. So now it looks something like this. So that's plenty of time still, though. And the more that you do it, the better you're going to get with it. But it's just like, it's really not that many adjustments. And as long as you build the muscle memory with quick adjustments, you're going to be able to do it. But now we're going to see how when they call verticals, all right, you're going to notice how you're going to be able to double team their corner, right? And then everyone's already manned up. So just look at that. And now, you are in man coverage, so Bray Hubbard across the field, that's why I mentioned the route commit feature being important, because if we look at the replay, everyone else did a great job, but you still have to understand that you're in man coverage. This seam pass to number 10, right, or to number 2, Ryan Williams, easily taken away. They throw this as a pick. Corner out, same thing. He's guarded great by man coverage, and then he gets double teamed. But again, you're in man coverage. All it really takes is one guy to get cooked, and they have that touchdown over the top. So what you need to do to make sure that doesn't happen consistently is use the route commit. So press Y, A, B, and then route commit inside, because your safety already has inside position. If he runs a crosser, well, now you route commit inside, he's going to do a better job. Again, most of the time. I'm not saying he'll never get cooked again like that. He could. So that's why it's like you don't want to sit in this every single play, but it is a good adjustment because, again, now they're going to take this snap, they try to throw that, and now that guy's right there to break that pass up or knock it away, while we're still doing a great job over the top now of defending this like crossing route simply because we're actually route committed. Right now, he was in great man coverage. I just happened to throw the ball. That's why he, kind of ran over here like that. But he was locked down there. And then also, again, the corner route's going to be guarded. So it's like throwing this type of cross-man defense at them is going to be super, super effective for you because how would they know it's coming, right? This just looks like regular too high. All of their receivers are now going to be cross-man as they kind of develop down the field, and you have additional support with your zones, with, a deep half out there. It's just going to be a really great coverage shell for you to utilize against trips formations. Again, to really do a great job of locking down like their corner out right here to lock down. Like that's just perfect defense to be able to stop their seam passes and their crossers over the top. So I highly recommend you add this to your defensive repertoire against trips formations. All right, before I jump into those final two plays here from the 4-3 multiple defensive playback, I wanted to remind you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I'm still posting college football 26 tips and tricks every single day to help you guys get better just like this and so that you're ready for 27. So I highly recommend you check out every video I post. So go down below, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of them. But let's jump into those final two plays. Which that next one is going to be the best defense to stop halfback direct snap here in CFB 26. And luckily we have a great one here in this 4-3 multiple playbook. Let me show you. Alright, so halfback direct snap, gun Y off trips. One of the best plays here in the game, and we're going to easily be able to counter it. Again, this is why I mentioned, Thinkle 3-3 Cub being one of the best defenses here in the game, because now we're going to come right back into it. Instead of setting the overload blitz by shifting our D-line left, like I showed you earlier, and now we're going to shift our D-line towards the running back side. So here in this case, the running back's going to be on the right side of the quarterback, which means I'm going to shift my defensive line to the right. If they flip their play, I would shift them left and then set up the loop defense, with it on the left side. But all you really need to do is make sure that you're standing in between the center and the guard, and then you're going to loop around and a gap's going to open up for you to run through. So again, boom, we're going to take it, and you see how that gap's going to be open. Now, the reality is sometimes they're going to keep it all the way to the edge, so you can't cut through like I tried to do right here. Like I just dived too early. I came down too early. If I would have moved out towards the sideline more, I would have been able to run in free. But the reality is you're in the backfield already. It's going to be up to you now. It's so much more rewarding to have, even if you miss, I'd rather miss and know it was my user's fault than just have them running the ball all over me because I don't have a gap shoot for this run. So again, boom, we're going to take it. Now the gap's going to be open right there, and I force him to keep going, which allows him to run into some of my other, ball carriers. I would say this certainly takes practice. It's a little bit easier to do in Madden, in my opinion, but it's still here in this game. You see how, again, boom, I loop all the way around, and then that time I clicked off because I just knew that computer would make that play very easily. But it's all you're trying to do is meet him exactly where he's trying to run. Because you shift your D-line towards the running back side, you make it much harder for him to cut back and make it essentially to where he has to bounce it all the way outside, and then you're going to be there with your user to actually, meet him there and make that play. So again, shift the defensive line, towards the running back, which here in this case is going to be shifting them right. We're going to stand right in this spot right here. We're going to loop around, and then we're just going to dive tackle him just like that. The reason why you want to dive tackle him is because you don't want to allow him to speed boost away or get into a tackle battle with you, which happens a lot when you conservative tackle these ball carriers by pressing A or X on PlayStation. But it's I could have ran through this gap right here in between 74 and 87, but it's I would just rather just meet him out there because especially I see that he's going to run out there. That's the only place he has to go, so I just follow him all the way out there, and I'm able to bring him down in the backfield very easily. So again, boom, take it. This time I'm going to dive through, and so I'm going to be able to cut out his legs, force him to spin, and be able to stop that run in the backfield. So really, this is the best defense here in the game to stop direct snap, whether they want to cut it up, whether they want to go all the way out to the edge. You just have to set it up just like this, find your gap shoot on every single play because it could be different on every play, but it's just like make sure you're diving to make sure that he has nowhere to go. He just falls to the ground, and we're going to be able to bring him down. So stop struggling against direct snap. Start using this defense right here and blowing it up in the backfield. All right, so that last situation of defense that I want to break down here from this 4-3 multiple playbook is actually going to be how to stop RPOs, because you could stop the pass, you could stop the run, but if you can't stop specifically RPOs here in this game, your defense is going to be clueless. Let me show you exactly how to shut them down. Alright, so what I want you to pay attention to here is, this is the most common RPO in the game, RPO read wide flat. But if we look at the offense's play art here, what we're going to see is the running back is going to be the A button on Xbox, Miller right here. That would be X on PlayStation. That is your giveaway that an RPO is coming, because it's not just this RPO here. Almost every RPO in the game, I'd probably say like 75-80% of RPO calls have this tell. So what you're going to do, you're not going to see it right at the line of scrimmage. You're not going to know when RPO is coming. You probably didn't know before you clicked on this video. But now what you're going to do is you're going to press D-pad right twice. You're going to press X here, or that would be square on PlayStation. And then you're going to flick your right stick up to open the man coverage adjustment menu. Now you see all the buttons of every single player on offense, and now you see the RPO tell. Yes, the running back is the A button, so now you know you're good to go. But what I want to point out here before I break down the defense is, just because he's not A, that would be what? Square? No, that'd be X, right? Just because he's not A or X doesn't mean it's not an RPO. The reality is he could be like RB, for example, or R1, but an RPO could still be coming. But again, if you do see this tell, you know it's an RPO. So now I know it's an RPO. So now I set up RPO defense. What you typically want to do is shade your coverage down to put hard flats in the field, and then you're going to man up whoever you think could be getting the ball. So right here, I'm going to man up. It's normally going to be the slot receiver, but especially because I played this game all year, I know that RPO read wide flat, if they come out and gun wide off trips, I'm expecting the tight end to get the ball. So now I'm going to man up this tight end just like this. And so now I have hard flats and I have their RPO, taken away, right? So now when they go to throw this, we're basically just going to have two guys. That time my man coverage defender got blocked by their, slot receiver. And then I'm able to just throw this flat out here to my tight end, and he could just get guarded by the hard flat. Just because that's why I say it's important to make sure you have both, because one of them couldn't get blocked, like right here. Typically, he doesn't get blocked, but right here he does. So I have to have another defender to make sure I'm able to stop that RPO. So really, stopping RPOs is very simple. All you really need to do, shade underneath to make sure you have hard flats, pass commit by pressing RB and then right stick up to make sure that no one's looking into the backfield, and then you're going to man up one of their receivers who you think's getting the ball, depending on the formation, right? Typically, like I said, it's going to be RB that's going to be getting the ball, but here in this formation, we know that the tight end flat is their primary read, so we want to man him up. And so again, with the RPO, it's like it's an RPO. You still have to be ready to stop the run with your user. So really, all you're going to do is just loop around and be ready to shoot a gap. That time my D lineman shed, we're able to bring him down, but really all you have to do to stop RPO runs is loop around the line like I do right here and be ready to meet him right here if he breaks free, right? That time again, he just got stopped in the backfield, but it's like you have to be able to stop the run and the pass. You can't do one or the other. So again, boom, RB right stick up to pass commit. Now we're going to take the snap, loop all the way around like this. And again, if he broke free from the D-line, I would be there with my user while still being able to shut down this tight end. So you have to be able to stop the run and the pass. Boom, we're able to stop that, prevent him from looking into the backfield, and then we stop the run in the backfield. So really, that's how you stop RPOs. Make sure you do the RPO tail, D-pad right twice, X, right stick up, and then make sure you see that the running back's A, and then make sure you put hard flats. Boom, man the slot receiver or the tight end up who's getting the ball, and then press RB, right stick up to pass commit. That's very important to prevent your guys from looking in the backfield, and then just be ready to stop the run with your user. All right, so if you found that breakdown of the 4-3 multiple defense helpful here in College Football 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down College Football 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day to help you guys get better and finish the year strong. So I highly recommend you don't miss out on any of the videos I drop. So hit that subscribe button, and if you want to see my full 4-3 multiple defensive ebook, which goes to the full video, screenshots, write-ups, everything you're going to need to dominate an defense, and you can save it on your phone during gameplay, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to grab today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. I highly recommend you check it out. It's going to transform your defense here in CFB 26, but if you want to see a gameplay of me running that 4-3 multiple defense, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.